It's Friday night football, and as the sun sets at Perry Park, what more could you want than a Ninja A-League under lights for this round 3 clash between Brisbane Roar and Perth Glory? Well, both sides arrive with confidence and aiming for back-to-back wins. Last week, the Roar secured all 3 points with a 1-0 win over champion Sydney FC, while the Glory have travelled across the country after their first win of the season against the Jets at home last weekend. Let's take a look at the Ninja A-League ladder and where things stand leading into round 3. It's currently Melbourne City top of the pops. They're leading the charge. But tonight's clash in particular, we pay attention to Brisbane Roar and the Perth Glory. There or thereabouts in the middle of the table, eager to get another 3 points to launch themselves into the top 6 this evening. Well, it has been a warm day up here at Perry Park, but conditions perfect for kickoff as we settle into a mild 24 degrees Celsius as fans make their way into the ground. And let's have a look at the Brisbane Roar formation. It's an unchanged starting 11 for the Roar today. The team that defeated the champions remain as it was. Just a couple of changes to the bench as Sian Fryer returns to the matchday squad, having been rested in the game against Sydney. And Keely Richards also returns as she recovers from an ankle injury that saw her miss the first 2 rounds of the season. Well, it's been a big week for Matilda Tamika Yallop. You can see just standing up in line with her Brisbane Roar team there. The 33-year-old has been called back up to the national team squad for the upcoming friendlies against Brazil and Chinese Taipei, and her start today equals Claire Polkinghorne's 152 appearances in a Brisbane Roar shirt. An impressive innings for a tireless leader in this squad. Well, as for the travelling Glory, it's just the one change this evening as Sarah O'Donoghue, one of last week's goal scorers, makes her debut start in the league and against her former club at that. She replaces Ella Abdulmasi in the midfield. Tanika Lala and Misha Anderson drop out of the matchday squad entirely, with Morgan Roberts set to make her debut off the bench this evening. Well, and as mentioned, the 19-year-old Sarah O'Donoghue scored last weekend against the Jets and is rewarded this evening with a start, facing her former side in Brisbane today, where she made 3 appearances. Well, today is her 3rd appearance for Perth Glory, and one she'll no doubt want to impress in being back on familiar territory in Brisbane. A big opportunity for the young player. Well, as both teams line up with their mascots. Wonderful to see at Perry Park, and some healthy numbers pouring into the grandstand. Handshakes with the referees. Well, Alex Smith, Brisbane Roar head coach, it's his first full year in charge, and he reflected positively on his side's result last week, understandably so. A 1-0 win over the champions. He's had a good pre-season with the group, and time there just to settle in with his playing style across the pre-season. Referees this afternoon, Georgia Girardello, our centre referee for this one. She's assisted this evening by the vastly experienced Mi Suk Park as well as Vicky Clark, while Joey Lee will be keeping things in control on the sideline. Well, Stephen Peters, in his first year as an A-League head coach, coming across to the West from Macarthur Rams. He penned a 2-year deal with the Glory, and after a huge overhaul of players in this Perth team, signs are positive for the new coach. Well, last huddles amongst the groups, captains' handshakes. Izzy Dalton with Tamika Yallop, and quick chat with the referees. As we mentioned, cool conditions at Perry Park. And the coin toss looks like it's going the way of the Roar. Well, history between these two teams presents a fairly even split. 22 games, 9 wins apiece and 4 draws. Last season in their most recent fixture, it was Brisbane who defeated Perth 2-0 with thanks to goals from both Kaya Stevenson and Sian Fryer. Of course, Fryer returning to the bench this evening after she was rested last week. Precautionary tightness, we were told, but good to see her back on the bench and in this Brisbane Roar squad. She too called up to the Matildas squad for their upcoming friendlies in a couple of weeks' time. You can see her in the bib there, alongside Keely Richards, who also returns to the bench tonight for the Roar. Chelsea Blissett, the goal scorer from last weekend. Wonderful to see her back firing fit after an ACL injury curtailed her season last year, but a wonderful personality to have around the group. And the Roar at home again at Perry Park, looking to go back-to-back up against the Perth Glory tonight. Kelly Brown, hard to go past Kelly Brown at the moment. 2 goals, 2 games. Looks like a rejuvenated player at Perth Glory, as both teams just settling in before kickoff. So with last details about to get underway here for round 3 of the Ninja A-League. It's Brisbane Roar to get things underway with a kickoff and look to stream forward early. A beautiful night for football. 2 teams riding the high of their last weekend's result, and great to be joined tonight by former Matilda and former Brisbane Roar player Alicia Ferguson. Ish, what are you expecting to see this evening?
Well, I think 2 teams in form, coming off the back of a win. 2 coaches who had a lot of changes in the off-season and are really trying to implement their own style of play. I think both these teams are looking to be quite proactive in their defence, which means they don't want to sit back. They want to, you know, defend in a high block and try to win the ball back in dangerous areas. So I think this is set up for a really good game, Grace.
Well, it should be exactly that. Momentum from both sides, some good results. Important points early on in the season. And a big trip from the west for the Perth Glory. You know what that travel is like, Ish. Difficult for the group?
Yeah, it's always difficult. I think, you know, there has to be positivity in this. I think, you know, it's part and parcel of being a team from Perth, and I think the players are used to it now. They've had plenty of time to adapt. I think one of the big factors for tonight, while the temperatures come down, the humidity up in Brisbane, here in Brisbane, is always difficult, you know, 76%.
Well, ball whipped into the box early, glancing, looking at a chance for Glory to defend. Brisbane on the attack, and it's swept away. A bit of panic stations there early doors for the Glory to do some defending, but it is Brisbane who've started brightly. And here's Yallop looking to get things moving for her side. Yallop streaming forward, poked away by Glory's defence. Dalton happy to go all the way back to Templeman in goal. Here's Naomi Chinema launching it long. They're coming together in the middle of the park.
Interesting to see Gabby Holler taking that traditional number 9 position for Perth Glory. I know Stephen Peters really looking for more of a target player up there who can hold the ball up, and so they can get that second phase of attack as well. With Kelly Brown out on the wing, who's very direct, very quick, wants to go at players. So it'll be interesting to see how they execute that. There's been a couple of long balls up there. They just need to maintain that possession once it gets into forward areas.
Here's McQueen at the back for Brisbane. Pass through to Tish Woods, and first touch slightly lets her down, but the Roar able to keep possession. Tish Woods again, a player who has really gone from strength to strength in this Brisbane Roar side. Here's Delahaye. Trying to thread the ball through early, but Templeman is off her line well enough to read and let that one run harmlessly over the byline.
Yeah, she's a good player, isn't she, Tish Woods? She really is that link between the defence and the midfield and attack for the Brisbane Roar, has matured as a player.
Second season at Brisbane Roar for Tish Woods, the 20-year-old. This is won well by Roar. Tamiki Yard looks to get the strike away on the left boot, harmlessly into the hands of Miranda Templeman, but it's certainly Brisbane at the moment who have started this one on the front foot, Ish.
Yeah, well, we talk about Holly McQueen, the Brisbane Roar right centre back as it is, actually won that ball
Trotted through. Brisbane with another chance again. This time the shot, the save as well, pushed out wide. It was Tamar Levin who was bearing down on goal. That opened up really nicely. And you'd have to say in the end, maybe should have done better.
Yep, definitely should have scored there. I think Tamar Levin will be disappointed with that finish. But just talking about that pressure that Brisbane Roar really trying to have that high defensive block against Perth Glory. They're trying to break out of pressure, Perth Glory, but there's so many bodies from the Roar. And it was a lovely counter-attack twice in a row.
It'll be Yallop to take the corner. Numbers in the box for the Roar. Marshalled tightly by the Glory defence. The in-swinger, the right foot. Tamika Yallop, long looping ball high, nodded away by Glory's defence, but only as far as the feet of Woods. Yallop again, re-entry into the box, good defensive header. Perth eager to just scrap it away, relieve the pressure. Hayashi re-enters in, and a bit of a challenge, a clunky one on the edge of the box. The wind just picking the ball up and over. And no nonsense defending on that occasion.
And Perth Glory under a little bit of pressure here. I mean, both teams really want to press high up the pitch. Brisbane Roar at the moment have plenty of players in that front third trying to put Perth Glory under pressure and win the ball back in dangerous areas.
There's Della Harp. First time ball in from Hayashi. Perth just struggling to clear their lines at the back. Long time shot. Sails over the crossbar on that occasion. Well, it's been a flurry of a start, first 5 minutes, and this high press coming through from Brisbane Roar.
You appreciate Perth Glory still trying to play out from the back there, but maybe a case of trying to break out of that pressure. Give Brisbane something to think about, try and break out of the lines, take a more direct route.
Johnston helps on. Kelly Brown, we know the pace that she's got, rather. What a lively start to the season has the number 44 of Perth Glory, Kelly Brown, had the 23-year-old moving across from the Wellington Phoenix, 2 goals, 2 games.
Not bad statistics, is it? And obviously quite an adaptable player. Has played through the middle on that right-hand side tonight with Gabby Holler, more as that target player at number 9. So Kelly Brown can use her pace and work off her.
It's a lovely release from Hayashi as Tamika Yallop gives chase, a little glance up. Has Nat Tatham keeping her company a step over. Yallop still with a strike, and it's in the back of the net. Tamika Yallop, in a record equaling appearance, she finds the back of the net. A delightful finish by the experienced campaigner, and she's off the mark for the season.
Fantastic to see Tamika Yallop, Momo Hayashi playing a lovely ball in there. Yallop always wanting to get forward, having a quick look up, wanting to take on the player, you know, being really positive, nice little check-in, and what a wonderful finish for Yallop. I genuinely think Tamika Yallop this season is in such a leadership role for the Brisbane Roar. She's in good form, she's healthy, not carrying injuries, and what a wonderful start to the game.
Well, it's a delightful finish from the captain, Tamika Yallop. And on an occasion where she's equaling the great Claire Polkinghorne's appearance, 152 in a Brisbane Roar shirt. Well, it's special.
Yeah, it's very special. I think I was there for Tamika Yallop's first game. And it's incredible to see Meeks, as I call her. You know, I've known her since she was 13, to see her develop, mature, and is now a captain of the Brisbane Roar. Her and Claire Polkinghorne encapsulate what it is to be a Brisbane Roar player. And just wonderful to see her leading this team, which means so much of her, and what a fantastic finish from Meeks.
Well, goal number 64 for Tamika Yallop in the A-League. But now Brisbane with a bit of defending to do. Here's Georgia Cassidy. In-swinger far, nodded back by a Brisbane Roar player, and it will be a free kick to the Roar.
Really good positive play, hasn't it been, from the Roar? Definitely coming off the back of that huge result against Sydney FC last week. 2 home games as well really helps. this pitch, Perry Park, it's a big pitch. There's lots of space here. Tends to be a heavier pitch, so really there's lots of opportunity, but you need to put plenty of pace on the ball, and that was a fantastic transition from defence to attack. Great to see Meeks really capitalising on that opportunity.
Well, confidence on the ball. We saw the lovely little step over as well to get the strike away.
It was good, wasn't it? She was positive. She stood the defender up, really went at her. Nice little check inside. Just tucked that into the top corner.
Well, nothing on that occasion that Miranda Templeman could have done. And now we'll get to see in the opening 10 minutes what sort of response we see from Stephen Peters' side. Here's Grace Johnston, 19-year-old, had a, it's fair to say, a bit of a breakout season last year with the Glory and doing a job for her team wherever she's asked.
Yeah, big focus for Alex Smith with this Raw team has been they worked hard in pre-season, upping the intensity and being able to maintain that for the full 90 minutes. I know Stephen Peters is trying to implement the same approach with Perth Glory, and it's difficult when you are trying to press quite high up the pitch to really control the tempo. But we saw it last week against Sydney FC. Brisbane really tried to keep that tempo nice and high, put plenty of pressure on them, take those risks.
Well, that pass got a miss from Holly McQueen at the back. Appearance number 30 in the A-League for the 22-year-old.
And this is showing my age, Grace, but I played against Holly McQueen's mum in the Brisbane competition. That's how old I am. So wonderful to see, you know, this generational play of wonderful play, you know, women's players. And, you know, it's Holly McQueen's really making herself known in that back three. I think Leah Varley as well in the back's been a wonderful addition to the Brisbane Raw.
Yeah, great to see Leah Varley really establish herself at the back as well for the Raw, as it is, unsurprisingly, the Raw just edging possession in this opening 10 minutes. They've been on the front foot the last couple of minutes. Perth just trying to build themselves back into the game and responding to that goal. Here's Johnston. Taken finds Sanaga, but can't keep possession. Heavy pressure through the middle of the park from Izzy Dalton, and a little too much through the back. Here's Woods. Now Blisser, back to Woods. Nice little turn in the middle of the park from Levin. Hayashi looks direct, looks forward. Sweeping ball over the top, finds Delahaye. Yallop again, happy to concede a little territory. It's Blissett. Finds a pass through the lines. Early long shot over the top. Tamar Levin! It's spectacular! What a moment for the 20-year-old Levin to find Miranda Templeman off her line. Great vision. It's a great finish. Brisbane Raw, 2 to the good.
Well, it wasn't just the finish, but the build-up play from the Raw has been exceptional. Tamar Levin here. Just having a quick look up, and Miranda Templeman off her line. Really audacious attempt by Tamar Levin, but amazing vision as well. Just to have that quick look up, nice little turn. She turned Georgia Cassidy, and what a finish. What a strong start from the Brisbane Raw. Now we've got to ask the question, what are the Perth Glory? How do they respond to this? They've been camped in their own half. They need to change things up and really try and affect this game.
Well, it's a debut goal for Tamar Levin, and what a special one at that. Third season in the Brisbane Raw colours, and really has had to bide her time in the team. Always does a job when asked. But what a way to open up your A-League account.
Not bad, Grace. Not a bad way to score a goal. But as I say, I believe that the build-up play beforehand.
Excellent.
Yeah, the build-up play, playing through the lines here, working their way through midfield. Brisbane Roar are playing some lovely passages of play.
Here they come again. Glory with some further defending to do. Woods pokes it through to Levin again, the goal scorer. Building at the edge of the 18. Trying to find a way through again. Yallop, no pass. Doesn't hit the measure. Well turned in the middle of the park by Dalton. And heavy pressure. Here's Dalton again. Puts her boot through it on that occasion. Varley. Now McQueen. Heavy contact in the middle of the park. Has left Hayashi on the floor, and first yellow card of the evening.
And Brisbane Roar, Leah Varley has played a couple of those passes into Hayashi, into that midfield, or Tish Woods as well. They're confident playing to their midfielders with their back to goal. Hayashi did all right. Well, you know, a little bit of contact there.
Interesting to see. We'll get confirmation of exactly where the yellow card went. If it was indeed Tanaga for the challenge. It's Blissett. And Varley again. Nonetheless, Brisbane Roar happy to get their foot on the ball. Well, a quarter of an hour has passed and Brisbane have found the back of the net twice.
Yep, they've definitely been on the front foot, haven't they? Still 4 players here pushing on. Perth still committed to playing out from the back, playing short out from the back. They may need to consider changing it up. Just giving the ball away straight back to Brisbane Roar with so many numbers.
A bit of hidden hope and perhaps panic. Just having to absorb a lot of pressure at the moment as Stephen Peters looks on a little pensively, trying to problem solve on the run. Certainly not the start he would have wanted for his side. Searching ball over the top, finds Tanaga. O'Donoghue's dispossessed in the middle of the park and Roar can regain possession. Here's Levin, nice turn. Prodded away by O'Donoghue. As the ball trickles all the way back to Templeman. Chinema. Looking for support, doesn't really have it. Chinema again. Off the chest of Brown, and frustration just starting to feed through to this Glory side.
Well, it's tough when you don't have much possession, and when you do, you're turning it over again so quickly. Again, Kelly Brown, you know, when you're actually under the pump, you're under pressure, you don't have possession. Trying to maintain that as you're playing forward is so difficult. Moment. It's one of those games where it just almost looks like there's more Brisbane Roar players on the pitch than Perth Glory. Rose, I'm sure we've both been in games like that where it feels like they've got an extra 2 players on the pitch. Far more mobile. They're moving. They're a lot closer and more connected at the moment than the Perth Glory are.
Difficult to counteract as well when the team has a bit of momentum and is set really well. Started off brightly here, Brisbane Roar. Here's Delahaye. Wants to touch around Johnston, but Johnston has read it well. McQueen back to Varley, who's pinning down that defence, and Blissett. Well, Blissett, the goal scorer in last week's game against Sydney FC. A really special moment since recovering from a second ACL. And she too assisted Tamiki Allop's goal tonight, so really great to see Chelsea Blissett back out in good, comfortable form.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Painful injuries. Chelsea Blissett, you know, was questioning whether she was going to continue playing football or just focus on her university degree. such a hard decision when you've had so many setbacks, but she's hung in there. She's shown resilience. She's come back. I think she's playing really well. I like this formation with the 3 at the back for Brisbane Roar. I think Chelsea Blissett on one side, Holly McQueen on the other side of Leah Varley is a strong defensive unit.
Great pressure shown by Papadanova, the Bulgarian. Ball swept in, and Tamika Yallop again is first to it, nods over. Doesn't do so much as challenge Templeman, but Yallop has looked dangerous in this opening passage.
Yeah, it's great. Brisbane Roar's midfield looks so flexible. Tamika Yallop's kind of been all over the shop, hasn't she? Tamar Levin, they almost interchange, rotate around there, whatever suits their positioning.
Well, that's worked well by Glory. Here's Grace Johnston, centering ball, finds her Perth Glory teammate and gets a shot away, but Olivia Sakani, the US goalkeeper, did seem to have her corners covered.
Yeah, much more positive from Glory there. I mean, there's always going to be those spaces, and the flanks aren't there outside this back 3 of the Brisbane Roar. There is space there. If Perth Glory aren't comfortable going straight up to Gabby Holler and trying to get that connected play, then they need to go out and around this Brisbane Roar defence.
Well, Grace Johnston, the willing runner for Perth Glory on that occasion. Izzy Dalton with the shot. Of course, the US goalkeeper for the Roar, Olivia Sakani, the 25-year-old on loan from Racing Louisville this season. But she hasn't had a great deal to do so far. 20 minutes in. Blissett threads the pass through to Levin, who's moving well. Blissett again, and Tish Woods in the middle of the park. Happy to play backwards for now.
Yeah, you can see the tentative, defensive block now from Perth Glory. They really need to just hold their shape, because there has been those times where Brisbane have been able to break through those lines and play through them.
Number 18, Emily Pringle, another American import who has joined the Ninja A-League, LA born, but has an Australian father. Attended US college at UCLA. Pretty good school, pretty good football. There's Nat Tatham on the ball. Happy to search long. Sanaga works to keep it in, but it did look as though the ball had just crept over the sideline. Deborah Ann Delaharp previously played at Perth Glory, of course, up against her former side tonight as well. She's dispossessed on the sideline by Sarah O'Donoghue. Now Johnston again. Looking for the pass inside, but it's read well by Varley. O'Donoghue. And Sakani happy to slow things down for the Roar.
Yeah, it's been a reasonably high tempo first 22 minutes. Raw, plenty of possession, really controlling the tempo of the game. I think important for Perth at this stage, once you get the ball back, you actually just want to try and change the momentum and start stringing some passes together. They've really been giving the ball away far too quickly. I mean, accurate passes, that's a huge indicator of what Perth Glory need to improve. 49 accurate passes compared to 122 from the Brisbane Roar. It's just not good enough. I think the players will know that themselves.
Just a little clip across the leg there from Woods. Through the leg of Sanaga. So I'm happy to keep things moving, go fairly direct, but you see the Brisbane Roar numbers around there, and Kelly Brown fairly isolated.
Just late and mistimed, wasn't it? Gabby Holler not having a whole lot of fun in that forward position, you know, trying to be that target player, but it's difficult. Some long, hopeful balls across the pitch from Perth Glory.
Brisbane get things underway again. Direct ball straight down the middle. Rolls harmlessly to Templeman. She's definitely been the busier of the two goalkeepers. Already had to make 3 saves, Templeman, but she's also had to pick the ball out of the back of the net on 2 occasions, and that's picked off well once more by Levin. She can drive in, has Tatham for company. Levin goes herself, and it's a decent ball across the face. Really good opportunity for the Roar.
Yeah, Perth Glory not doing themselves any favours. Again, trying to play short. They've tried it a fair few times, not have too much success. Popojanova, could she have gone with her head there? Tamar Levin won that ball back. Decent ball in.
Chance here for Perth on the break. The switch of play is well read by Della Harp, who intercepts in the middle of the field, and Hayashi turns things back around for the Roar. They can stream forward. It's a great run down the left by Pringle. But good quality defending, just to slow things down.
Well, slow things down they need to do, but I think Perth also need to consider, you know, continuing to play out from the back. Don't mind this, they just need a bit more success with it. They haven't had too much success at all. Got themselves into all sorts of bother. Another ball into Sunaga, plays out, and Brisbane Roar on the tack so quickly.
Evie Papadanova finds Della Harp, a handball just off the hand of Miku Sunaga, and it will be a Brisbane Roar free kick. Unsurprising to see perhaps a Della Harp standing over it, but no, it will be the experience of Yallop taking the free kick.
Put that free kick in for Chelsea Bissett last week as well. It's a good angle here, could whip that around Sunaga, right across that 6-yard box. Plenty of space there, difficult to defend for Perth Glory, back towards goal. Needs plenty of pace and whip on this, keeping it nice and flat.
Well, Yallop, what can she deliver here for Brisbane? Good ball lofted in, just prodded away by Glory. Didn't quite have the leverage it needed, and hoofed downfield by O'Donoghue. Back to the free kick taker and Tamika Yallop, the goal scorer. Settle things again for her side, and that's a nice bit of distribution by Sakani. And Tavali finds Hayashi in the middle of the park. Blissett. Hayashi comes short. Tamara Levin is covering some ground tonight. Has Tian McKenna for company. On this occasion, Perth Glory do clean up. Here's Georgia Cassidy. Of course, she scored in the opening minute in Perth's game last weekend against the Newcastle Jets. Great pressure shown by the youngster, and she too had a bit of a breakout season last year, Georgia Cassidy. And seems to have really settled herself under new coach Stephen Peters and his setup. Yellow. Confirmation of that yellow card from a little earlier was indeed to Miku Sunaga. Yellow. Can face forward. Nice little shift of the weight. Here's Della Harp. Drives into space. Run down the line from Papadanova. Matt Tatham does really well. Good use of body, good strength shown on the ball. Asks for the free kick. Nothing given there. McQueen. She's been positioned really well. Holly McQueen picked up some important interceptions. Hayashi. Now Pringle. To the feet of Chinema. Really, at the moment, it's a bit of hit and hope for the Perth Glory. Not able to connect passes out of that first line of defence, and largely due to the pressure from this Brisbane side.
Yeah, they're not coming up with too many ideas, but I think the key thing is once they actually have that ball back, that decision-making and really taking care with their passes and keeping possession. They're winning the ball back and then giving it away within 1 or 2 passes, and that just makes it even more difficult.
Dalton switches the point of attack. Here's McKenna. Pressure from Papadanova, and that's a sore one. Point blank range really hurts. Straight to ground, and referee Ghirardello. Yep.
Yeah. Didn't look good on the first instance, did it? Papadanova gone down. Great pressure by the forward. She's a busy forward, covers a lot of ground, likes to get stuck in. Had a little argy-bargy with Faye Bryson of Sydney FC last week. Bit of feistiness about her. Take her off for just an additional check, hopefully. Obviously, HIA concussion protocols crucial in football these days.
Yeah, well, she didn't know too much about that one. Point blank hit. Just in case you needed to see it any slower.
What a slow-mo replay that one is. Yeah, she's back up on her feet. Looks to be okay. Good that the doctor will give her a quick check, make sure she's okay to come back on.
Well, good to see Evie Papadanova back on her feet and able to walk herself off. The 28-year-old Bulgarian international. She joins the Ninja A-League, having spent time most recently with Lazio in Italy. But went to college in the USA. Her latter college years at Florida Gulf Coast Eagle. Experienced player. And as you say, Ish, bit of argy-bargy, bit of physicality, doesn't mind getting stuck in. Here's Tafe. Looks to thread the needle, but read well again by Holly McQueen at the back there. Really good anticipation.
Yeah, I definitely think she's been a good player to acquire by Alex Smith in the Raw. Similar, buys into the philosophy, high work rate, high intensity, trying to win that ball back. Very busy player, covers a lot of ground as a striker, makes those runs into those wide areas.
Here is Papadanova and the run through from Tamika Yalla. Well worked again by Brisbane. Good overlapping run by Deborah Ann Della Harp. First time ball surging over the top. Does find Pringle, but probably not quite the delivery that Della Harp was looking for.
Yeah, it was lovely build-up play. Papadanova showing her quality and experience there. Being able to hold the ball up. We talk about her work rate, playing in Tamika Yalla, but Della Harp, it's one of my bugbears, I must admit, plays in that area, not whipping that ball into the near post. There wasn't too many runners from Brisbane Roar anyway, but just putting it up and over, really into a general area rather than trying to pick players out.
It looks like Tish Woods has just picked herself up a yellow card as well. Must have been perhaps something that happened off the play as Fukusunaga is gone to ground and getting a little bit of attention from the physio. Well, 30 minutes in, Ish, and fair to say this one started as a bit of a flurry. It sort of settled in as a half an hour mark has ticked by.
Yeah, it's definitely been Brisbane Roar in the ascendancy, hasn't it? Definitely more fluidity in their play, keeping more possession, stringing those nice little combination passes together. I like the fact that they're trying to break through the lines. They're playing through Tishwoods. They're playing through Momo Hayashi, through those midfield areas. The big question is, what do Perth Glory have? You know, they've struggled to string a couple of passes together, which I think is something Stephen Peters will be discussing at half-time.
Perth looking to build up from the back through Matt Tatham. That pass eventually finds the feet of Kelly Brown, who can't quite manage her own touch through, and it's cleared away by the Raw's defence. Shots on target speaks to the story we've seen so far. Brisbane Raw with the 5. Perth Glory yet to find the target at all. Here's O'Donoghue. Now Dalton. Just looking to pin down the midfield for the Glories. Izzy Dalton. Johnston under pressure. Read well again by Delahaye. She can stride forward. Dalton closes the space. McQueen to Hayashi. Nice ball through to Papadanova, but first touch just lets her down a little. Possession continues to swing in Brisbane Raw's favour. Johnston again, but McQueen quick to read the pass. Nice turn on a dime from Evie Papadanova. She can stride forward, has McQueen for support. The pass is long, but McQueen will work hard. Can't quite wrap her boot around to pull that one back for a centering cross.
Well, Papadanova will be disappointed with that, but what I do love about this counter-attack, really positive run from Papadanova, but Holly McQueen, one of the central defenders for Brisbane Raw, overlapping run. That ball just went too far away from her, from Papadanova, unfortunately causing McQueen to hit it out for a goal kick.
Well, she's been busy in this opening 35 minutes defensively, more so Holly McQueen, but quite a foray forward on that occasion. Well read by Varley. She continues her run. Interrupted the touch of Chelsea Blissett.
Well, I mean, Perth haven't had, I think they've had one shot not on target. So that statistic as well tells you everything that you need to know. But even just that play from Leah Varley there, I think this shows the confidence of Brisbane Raw. Holly McQueen in that previous attack as a central, as one of the 3 defenders at the back. Leah Varley then going on a run, playing the ball, continuing a run. That's the modern day defender as well. They are actually part of the attack.
It's a good searching ball forward, but the bounce back to Kelly Brown. Now Holler looking for a bit of support, only finds it behind her. Here's McKenna. And just as half moments for Perth. Not quite able to find anything meaningful in the final third, but this is good pressure shown by Georgia Cassidy, but perhaps a little too much.
Well, you'd prefer that, wouldn't you, from Georgia Cassidy, being nice and positive, trying to be aggressive in there, win the ball back in dangerous areas. It's probably the furthest up the pitch Perth have been. You know, there's a bit of frustration there from Georgia Cassidy as well, a little niggle at the ankles of Chelsea Blissett.
It was exactly that kind of pressure that saw Georgia Cassidy get off the mark for Perth Glory last weekend. High press, putting her opponent under pressure, managed to pinch possession with a nice finish. Here's Chinema. And McKenna back to Chinema. Long looping clearance brought down by Woods. Bit of a scrap in the middle of the park at the moment. Pringle with the throw. Really good strength on the ball once more, shown by Papadanova. Had close attention behind her.
It was a shame she lost that ball. That was incredible. She brought that down with her chest, got walloped into her.
Awkward moments here for Chinema. Awkward moments here for Perth. And a bit of miscommunication at the back between Naomi Chinema and goalkeeper Miranda Templeman.
Yeah, nice little searching ball in behind. Chinema just trying to get something on it. Templeman takes it over the line. I think that kind of just sums up Perth Glory's first half, isn't it? A little bit of indecisiveness. Just kind of a bit off the pace. Brisbane are all definitely on the front foot.
Tamika Yallop to take again, this time on her non-preferred left foot for the in-swinging corner. One arm in the air, Yallop delivers. It's a nice ball into the far post, knotted down into traffic. Did well to win the header, but couldn't quite redirect it goalward. Leah Varley.
I think Perth will really appreciate the half-time break, just to try and consolidate, have a chat. Trying to play it out from the back again. And there's always a couple of short passes and then they play it long. Don't actually find one of the teammates, either Kelly Brown or Gabby Holler up front.
Perth at the moment really just bypassing the midfield, aren't they, after that first couple of passes out the back?
Yeah, and I can see what they're trying to do. I think it's just, a bit more quality. If you're trying to pick out players, if you are trying to hit your target player, we saw Papadanova, that ball got walloped into her chest. She was able to take a touch, have another touch. Okay, she eventually gave it away, but if you're going to have a target player that holds the ball up and maintains possession for you, you actually have to find them in the first place.
Searching with that pass is Chelsea Blissett. Off the knees of Nat Tatham over the sideline for a Brisbane throw. Brisbane again with a throw-in. Here's Emily Pringle. Blissett to Hayashi, and now Woods. Yallop with a little bit of space in front. Cuts around O'Donoghue. Well read by Dalton. Tatham, no nonsense defending, just looks to clear for distance. Perth Glory throw. Templeman, Cassidy. Chinema really just not being presented with an easy option in front of her.
Yeah, she's probably played 3 or 4 of those balls, hasn't she, Grace? Just straight up the pitch. Obviously, a couple of short passes. Doesn't look like they've got enough options in midfield. To Brisbane Raw's credit, they're pushing players on, so maybe it is under pressure. So she's forced to play those long balls, but they're just not hitting their target. They're not hitting a Perth Glory player. They need to have a bit of a rethink about that at half-time.
Here's Brisbane again. Tamar Levin dropping deep to receive the ball. Varley looks to sweep it away. Now Cassidy can face forward. Holler gets a shot away, leaning back, always rising. And perhaps a little frustration, a little impatience just bearing in for this Perth Glory side.
That's right, and just trying to change things up, trying to make something happen. Gabby Holler hasn't had a lot of joy tonight as that target player as a number 9. At least she was positive. She faced forward early, wanting to test Sakani in the Brisbane Raw goal. Just as you say, leaning back technique, a bit of frustration, a bit of impatience as well, trying to make something happen.
Still plenty of football to come across the weekend, but Alec that Smith would love nothing more than a valuable 3 points at home, and they've certainly started this first half doing all the right things. Here's Tamika Yallop. They can stride forward again. Della Harp, the willing runner. Cross ricocheted off the feet and into the hands of Miranda Templeman. Cassidy receives short. Perth can look to build from the back. Here's O'Donoghue, faces forward. Releases the run of Johnston. Johnston inside to Sanaga, but it's well read by Hayashi. Only as soon as it's back with possession of Perth Glory, but it's been handed back as easily as it's been regained at the moment.
Yeah, Brisbane Roar, I think, just quite happy to keep possession. Couple of minutes before half-time, if there's any additional time, they're in a comfortable position. Really no need to take any risks, just keep possession, keep the ball moving, 2-3 touch. See out this half.
Here's McQueen. Hooks forward. Papadanova bears down on her opponent, takes up, sizes up against Tatham. She's pulled back. A little tug of the shirt there has gone unseen. Tamar Levin still trying to fashion a shot away, but the question was asked. Now Brisbane with some defending to do at the other end. Chelsea Blissett up to task.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was a free kick. Again, Papadanova, great, isn't she? Like, turns, wants to go out players, little jink inside, trying to make them make a decision, force them into a tackle. Definitely looked like a little bit of contact there for me. Should have been a free kick on the edge of the box.
Well, confirmation of 2 additional minutes at the end of this first half. That's a nice little round the corner pass from Hayashi. That one a little too direct. Well, 90 seconds until this half-time break, and really a chance for Stephen Peters' side to consolidate, tighten things up, you'd imagine, but still with some defending to be done. Here's Woods. Skips her way through, but can't break past that last line of Glory defence. Donoghue just misfires the pass to Johnston. It's largely been the tale of this Perth Glory opening half. Hayashi. Papadanova, great strength shown on the ball. Drives at 1-2 Perth Glory defenders. Has Della Harp underneath for support. Della Harp just slows things down. McQueen now. And Hayashi looks for the long-range effort. And anyone who's familiar with the Queensland NPL knows that she doesn't fancy a long-range strike. Highlights is a compilation, really, of those long-range efforts, exactly that. But Miranda Templeman very happy just to slow things down and see out the clock into this half-time break. Perth Glory throw. And so with a blow of the whistle from referee Georgia Ghirardello, it's been an enterprising first 45 minutes from the Brisbane Roar. They've got off to a very bright start. They'll be happy with what they've seen so far. Opened the scoring through Tamika Yallop in the 7th minute, followed by Tamar Levin in her debut goal in the A-League in the 13th minute. They held strongly and dominated possession, dominated the play in this opening half. So at Perry Park, in our half-time break, it's the Brisbane Roar leading Perth Glory by 2-0. Well, let's have a look at some of the highlights, Ish, because there were certainly a few that got things underway this evening.
Yeah, really strong start from the Brisbane Roar. They were all over Perth Glory from the first whistle. Tamar Levin there, I think, should have done better. That should have been a goal, but look at this ball from Momo Hayashi. Tamika Yallop, plenty of pace on that. Meeks with her head up, looking at the player, takes her on. Little jink, inside, outside, and then just clips that into the far post. What a wonderful finish from Yallop.
Well, world-class finish from a world-class player. She does it time and time again for this Brisbane Roar side. She does it for the Matildas as well. Wearing the captain's armband, playing with confidence and looking super fit at 33 years young.
Yeah, and as I said before, Grace, really important for Tamika Yallop to stay fit and healthy. Obviously, at this point of her career, I think she's looking in great form. Obviously, taking on this leadership role with the Brisbane Roar. She's been there since the first season. I played with her in the first season of the W League in 2008-9. We won the grand final. Always been an exceptional talent, extremely mobile, attacking player, and what a wonderful finish.
Undeniably so. And someone who has been active everywhere is Tamar Levin. And how about that for a finish?
It was an extremely good finish. Lovely turn here. Georgia Cassidy just got turned there. Tamar Levin, little look up. Miranda Templeton off her line. The previous build-up play to that was great from the Roar on the right-hand side. They switched the ball out to the left. And a great finish from Levin.
Nervy moments for the Perth Glory after what was a really challenging opening 45 minutes. And this is where the stats land at the halftime break. The Perth Glory still to register a single shot on target, but fair to say it's been all Brisbane Roar.
Grace, the stats tell the story of the game. I think it's been all Brisbane Roar. Perth need to re-evaluate how they're going to break out of their defensive half and start keeping possession. Even that accurate pass is 185, just not keeping the ball once they win it back off the Roar.
Well, that's the stats from the first 45 minutes here at Perry Park.
It's been clean for a while. Grease. Oh, greasy. Got through the first half. That's better.
Well, it was a big week last weekend in the Ninja A-League, but one of the best moments of round 2 surely had to be the moment that Tiger stole the show.
There was a couple of moments, and it did drag on for a few moments, that had us all barking mad. Oh. Have you ever seen anything, T, like this?
I was in
happen,
stitches.
In the A-League.
I just was in stitches, and then all the players trying to sort of entice the dog to them. Oh my goodness. And then finding out it was Annalie Longo's own dog, like that was just next level hilarious.
A tough one for a commentator to call, especially without any research.
Well, we've seen sports washing, now we've got dog washing.
I mean, finally found her. Oh,
I love it because all the players were on the floor. They're all calling the dog in. They're all down on the ground. No one had treats. The dog would only recognise Annalie, surely. Surely it would only recognise Annalie. What a moment during the match. But this is what Annalie had to say about it. She said, all the emotions went through my head. I'm thinking, how on earth is she on the pitch? Do I chase her? What do I do? It was so loud as well because everyone was obviously making a lot of noise. But so glad that she made people smile.
Definitely did. Oh.
The commentator covered this beautifully, though.
Oh, Jason Pine, you know, it is the best league in the world for many reasons, and that's another one to add to the list.
Well, that was certainly a highlight, and there's another set of highlights to look forward to across the weekend. Another 5 games in round 3 of the Ninja A-League. Coming up first on Saturday, 3 fixtures: the Sydney Derby, Sydney FC against the Western Sydney Wanderers, a 2:15 kickoff at Leichhardt Oval. That one's going to be excellent on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus. Followed later in the afternoon by Melbourne City up against the Central Coast Mariners. That's going to be a huge game. The 4 p.m. kickoff on 10 Play and Paramount Plus. Melbourne City currently top of the Ninja A-League table. At the same time, kicking off is Canberra hosting Adelaide United at McKellar Park, also on 10 Play and Paramount Plus. And then on Sunday, 2 fixtures, 2 games to look forward to as well. The Newcastle Jets hosting Wellington Phoenix for the 3 p.m. kickoff at number 2 Sports Ground. And at 4 p.m. to round out round 3 of the Ninja A-League is Melbourne Victory up against Western United at the home of the Matildas. That one is a 4 p.m. kickoff. The Unite round is just a few days away, and it promises to be another fantastic weekend of football.
If you haven't already, make sure to mark these dates in your diary. The 22nd to the 24th of November, it is Unite round returning to the A-Leagues. Ninja A-League playing out of Leichhardt Oval, the Isuzu A-League out of Allianz Stadium. Tommy Orr, 2 venues, 14 clubs, 1 city. It promises to be an absolute football feast for A-Leagues fans.
Absolutely, and you know, fans very much at the forefront of this weekend, and it's exciting to have, you know, so many exciting games and so many football fans from around the country and New Zealand, of course, all in one city. And you know, the family atmosphere and the things going on around the games, I feel like there'll be a lot of excitement, so a lot to look forward to for A-League fans. There's going to be legends on display, food trucks, DJs, you name it. The entertainment is sorted for Unite round. In the women's, there's obviously the standout fixture. They're all great games, but the grand final rematch from last year, Sydney FC against Melbourne City. Of course, they finished 1v2. Melbourne City pipped them to the Premier's Plate on the final day of the season after Sydney FC got that terrible loss by their own standards against Melbourne Victory. If you're looking at the men's, the Isuzu A-League out of Allianz Stadium, I mean, where to start with the games here? Not only is there a derby between the Mariners and the Jets, but a Sydney derby as well. Yeah, all huge games on everyone's bucket list. You know, when the draw comes out in pre-season, these are the games that you have your eye on when it is, and to have them all on the same weekend in the same city just gives the fans a fantastic opportunity to experience all of them, and not only necessarily at the game, but in and around the game, the pubs, you know, and the family atmosphere that I'm sure that will be happening in Sydney. So it's very exciting. If you haven't done already, head to aleagues.com.au to get your tickets for Unite round. Reserve your spot there. Take in as much football as you possibly can. The 22nd to the 24th of November, it is Unite round.
Well, don't go anywhere. The second half between the Brisbane Roar and Perth Glory is not too far away. Well, welcome back to Perry Park, where the Brisbane Roar lead Perth Glory by 2-0. It was an action-packed first half. A couple of moments of controversy as well.
Yeah, definitely thought there was a little tug on the shirt. I mean, there was a tug on the shirt, wasn't there? Not a little tug on the shirt. Sarah O'Donoghue tugging the shirt of Papagenova. Referee waved it away late in that first half, but she's been busy. She's been dangerous, Papagenova. Interested to see how she approaches the second half.
Well, big second half coming up for both sides as we get a little glimpse into a substitute being made. There's a familiar face there of Sian Fryer taken to the field, as is Oneshi Zog, who is on your screen there, being substituted on. The 27-year-old, Swiss-born, plays for the Nigerian national team, but there is Sian Fryer, recently called back up to the Matildas squad as part of the upcoming friendlies. So a couple of changes for either side, and we'll get confirmation in just a couple of moments of who they've replaced respectively. But it's Perth Glory who get this second half underway, and Georgia Cassidy looking to turn Raw on the back foot early and start a little brightly. They need it.
They certainly do, Grace. I think turning the Raw around, putting pressure on them in their final third, similar to what the Raw did to the Glory in the first half. 2-goal lead to Brisbane. Perth really need to start this half strong.
Well, Perth coming off the back of that 3-2 win they had over the Newcastle Jets. But we're definitely on the back foot in that first half tonight. Izzy Dalton to take this corner. In swinger, goes short, falls early, falls awkwardly. Perth almost stab at it to try and find a way back into this game, and that's not a bad look.
Kelly Brown there, I think, had the shot. There was plenty of bodies in there, deflected out for another corner.
Perth plays short this time. Cassidy with the in swinger. Nodded out, but not quite the direction that Chelsea Blissett would have liked. Another corner for Glory. This is a better start for Perth. Cassidy again with the in-swinger. The first delivery was a dangerous one. Cassidy, long looping ball, goes high again, falls to a cluster of bodies right on the line. And it's Olivia Sakani who's not too impressed with the attention she's received.
Yeah, I did see Kelly Brown kind of bundling herself into Sakani there. Sakani did well, actually. That ball, that in-swing is tough. There's a little bit of wind in the air as well, swirling around. She took it nice and strong. Very obviously protecting the keepers, no contact. Just a few little afters as well.
Brisbane's back in possession. There's confirmation of the substitution. Sian Fryer replacing Emily Pringle. It's given away. Georgia Cassidy gets the strike as it sails just over the crossbar, and you see the rain start to come down here too at Perry Park.
Yeah, typical Brisbane afternoon, humid all the way up to a big storm rolling in. There's been plenty of storms rolling across Brisbane. This will cool things down, get a bit of slickness on the pitch.
And confirmation too, it was Miku Sunaga who's made way for Oneshi Zog. And this is a look at the challenge in on Sakani, and you mentioned it there, Ish, but the attention from Kelly Brown just bundles herself over, but the hard run of Papadanova being marshalled by Chinema.
Yes, Sakani did really well in that corner. It was almost like she was behind Kelly Brown, nice and strong, arms in front, held her ground, drew the foul as well, drew the contact from Brown.
Well, the rain will certainly make for a quick pitch here at Perry Park, as the ball will just start to skid along the surface.
And I mean, it's such a big pitch at Perry. I mean, I've played so many games there, but it can be a heavy pitch as well. Some of the Brewer players, a few little cramps in that previous game. It was an earlier kickoff, it was warm conditions, lots of humidity. This will have cooled it down for both teams.
It's almost better build-up from Perth Glory, if not managed yet again very well by Holly McQueen, who's been here, there and everywhere for Brisbane. Interesting to see what, if any, tactical changes made by Perth Glory. We've seen the one substitute for Perth, the one substitute for Brisbane. But what will Stephen Peters do, or what would the conversation have been at half-time, Ish, to try and get his side back into this contest?
Well, I think it's like they control their own controllables. You know, they'd still want to build up play from the back, but the quality of their passing, they were trying to bypass midfield into Holler, but just the accuracy of the passing, not doing themselves any favours and giving Brisbane Roar back possession far too easily.
Good numbers around the ball. Brisbane have done well. The run streaming forward from Tamika Yallop. Tamika Yallop, 1v1 at the back. But defensively, it's sound there, and it's Oneshi Zog. Oni, as she's affectionately known with the playing group, doing the defensive work.
Yeah, again, that turnover possession, centre of the park. Papadanova, every single time she gets the ball, love this, always wants to go forward. Yallop just getting that nice little touching, great recovering defence from Oni Zog, just as Yallop was trying to get the shot away.
Oni Zog, the 27-year-old. Her father from Switzerland and mother Nigerian. She represents the Nigerian national team. She's come over on the ball here to play a trade with Perth Glory. Here's Fryer. She was rested last week against Sydney FC. A precautionary move, handling a bit of tightness, but good to see her back out on the park for Brisbane this evening.
Yep, Sian Fry's got a big few weeks ahead of her. Called into the Matildas camp with those 4 international matches. Not taking any risks with her. I'm sure she was desperate to start this game, but good to see her in the second half.
Well, fresh legs. 2 substitutes going up against each other. Here is Sian Fryer. Finds Woods. Nice little shift away from Woods. Now Blissett. Little glance up. Falls a little short, and Templeman thought about coming to receive, but Shinema tidied up at the back.
It kind of just hung in the air, didn't it? It was a little bit swirling wind out there, rain coming in. Making sure playing nice and safe, particularly 2 goals down. It really would be disastrous if Perth did concede a third so early on in the second half.
Well, Brisbane have looked dangerous off corners. Here's Tamika Yallop again. Just swing in on the right foot. A little breeze you can see on the corner flag there. Yallop, it's driven into the far post. It's a nice corner. And Leah Varley just couldn't meet it at the right height.
Well, that's twice I think Tamiki Yallop's been trying to pick out Leah Varley in that first half, taking it with her left foot, playing it to the back post, as you would. Leah Varley, obviously quite an imposing presence there, strong in the air. Just misreading that one.
Still got a couple of Perth players unavailable either through absence or injury. Of course, we know the signing of Casey Dumont this year. She's still unavailable, tied up with AFLW and the Hawthorn Hawks. Megan Wynn, the international, had a wrist problem that has seen her unavailable for this Perth side, as has Susan von Songkamp. She's had a little bit of surgery in the last week, so that set her back a little way. And Bella Wallhead too. Izzy Folletta not too far off, but quite a host of Perth players still to make themselves available in the weeks to come.
Well, that's right, Stephen Peters coming in. We'll see with some of the international players, there's quite a big break between when they'd finished their seasons, wherever they were in the world, until the start of the A-League season. So difficult to get them up to speed.
Too different from Brisbane Roar. Of course, Kaya Stevenson out this season nursing ACL injury. Denel Tan, Singaporean international as well, still sidelined. So it's Leonie Fryer, Ruby Cuthbert. So a couple of injury woes for both sides. A longer season as well, so no risks taken.
Well, I think that'd be good for the Raw if you think about it. You know, they're starting 11, a couple of games in a row, a bit more consistency. Definitely see Alex Smith implementing a particular style of play, can't you, with the Raw team? High intensity, high press, lots of movement, lots of rotation in that midfield central area. Tish Woods tends to drop back a little bit, but then you've got Momo Hayashi as well. Good technical player on the ball. And Tamiki Yallop just being really able to roam wherever she wants, and having a wonderful target player in Popodanova. Get it out properly. Who's, you know, fantastic. Like, can hold the ball up, will want to turn. Strong attacking player.
Better pressure here from Perth. Woods scrapping to keep possession, does well. Nicely done by Raw, out of pressure. Threaded through, but Chinema uses her body well. Can settle things for Perth. Here's Zog. Templeman and Zog again. Zog threading the pass is a nice one. Neatly done by Brown. Idea right from Perth, but the final pass not quite meeting the intended outcome. Cassidy still with the ball for the Glory. This is better from Perth.
Yeah, far more composed on the ball, taking more care in their passes. Well, as I say that, give it away. Yep, standard, always happens.
Varley. Heavy challenge in from Chinema was strong against Popodanova. Searching ball over the top, can only find a Raw defender. Here's Fryer. She's got a bit of space in front. Finds Yallop, turns and faces. Nice footwork by Yallop.
Can you Tamika Yallop yelling out, let's get it again. Can you come back in this space?
Composed football by Brisbane. The searching ball over the top finds the run of Sian Fryer. She's clipped on the edge of the box. Referee Georgia Ghirardello has a think about it, pauses, points to the spot. That's a penalty.
Yeah, no questions about that, but really wonderful, nice, composed build-up play. Tamika Yella playing that ball back. Leah Varley, Chelsea Bissett as well. Tish Woods, I mean, what a delightful ball. I think this is definitely something, using the pace of Sian Fryer, obviously just needed to get a touch. Templeman had to come out to that. Sian Fryer, nice and positive, getting that touch on the ball, definite pen. Definitely think that's something that the Raw have been doing better than the Perth Glory, even trying to play those balls in behind. They're putting more on it. That was a wonderful ball from Tish Woods.
Delightful ball over the top from the young player. After you mentioned, Isha, really nice sustained period of possession. Looking really composed on the ball, the Brisbane Raw, and just picking their moment when to go and targeting that pace of Fryer, and the challenge from Templeman just a little late.
A little late, yeah. I mean, Sian Fryer has plenty of pace, but what a great ball from Tish Woods. Nice little backspin on it, dinked it in behind. Obviously, there's moisture on the pitch now, so it's going to skid on a little bit. Just quality play from Woods.
And so it'll be the captain, Tamika Yallop, to step up and take this penalty for her side. She already has a goal to her name for the afternoon. A deep breath from Yallop. And it's in the back of the net. Calm, composed, leadership personified. That is Tamika Yallop. It's her second for the night. And she extends the Brisbane Raw lead to 3-0.
Yeah, wonderful finish. Took plenty of time there, Tamika Yallop. Nice big deep breath, little stutter. Had a look where Templeman, which way she was going. Templeman was asking the question of the referee, is that stutter allowed? But goal is allowed. Tucks it away nicely in that bottom left-hand corner. Long way back for Perth Glory now, Grace.
A steep hill to climb for sure. Tamika Yallop, 152 appearances in that Brisbane Raw shirt, 65th A-League goal. Well, the statistics speak for themselves. She's stood up tonight. She's looked excellent from start to finish, and still plenty of football to be played here. That touch a little awkward from Varley. Here's O'Donoghue, who looks to get the strike away. A little off balance, didn't trouble Sakani.
Yeah, they've had a few long-range efforts, haven't they? But just, unfortunately, whether they're off balance, as you say, you know, underneath the ball, trying to rush things as well, I think, trying to make something happen.
Brisbane Raw, comfortable to play out from the back is Fryer, up against Cassidy. Invites another defender in Dalton. Looking really comfortable under a bit of pressure here, Brisbane Raw.
Yeah, they played out of some pressure in their defensive third. And to their credit, they played really well. I don't think Perth really had that organisation, you know, wanting to play that high block, but it just hasn't quite worked for them tonight. But not taking anything away from the Raw as well. I think they've been the far better team.
Long ball, long strike in fact. Clean set of hands by Olivia Sakani. And in slippery conditions, may as well try your luck.
Yeah, she's looked nice and solid, hasn't she? Even under pressure in those corners. Difficult to read the flight of the ball there, but looked nice, calm and composed.
You like that from the young player in Tish Woods. You hear the shouts of face forward, and she does exactly that, as Marielle Ecker has also joined the field of play for Brisbane.
I think that's one thing I really liked about their play tonight. When the players can face forward, always trying to face forward really quickly. You know, yes, there's a purpose. They might bounce the ball back and sideways, but as soon as they can face forward, they're always looking for that forward pass.
That one a little skinny. Tian McKenna has done well to pick it off, but just as quick as you like, it's Brisbane back in possession. Lovely turn on the ball from Tamika Yallop, and she strides away from Cassidy. Connects with Eka. Straight through, and that's a heavy challenge coming through from Naomi Chinema. Straight through the side of Papadanova.
Yeah, just back to Tamika Yallop in that midfield place, in that midfield position. Again, quick turn, wants to face forward, automatically and immediately breaking out of pressure. Nice little ball in there. That's a heavy challenge by Chinema.
Ariel Eka was appealing for the card as well. It was Eka who's replaced Tamar Levin, the goal scorer. Excellent first half that Levin had. And the fresh legs of Mariel Eka, the Brazilian, well, she brings some experience. But for now, it's Glory with some defending to do. And once more, it's Brisbane Roar, the strike. It was a stinger of a shot as well from Momo Hayashi. I mentioned she doesn't mind a long-range effort, and that would have been special.
Technique was on point, wasn't it? Kept that ball down, drove the toes towards the pitch. Wonderful technique from Momo Hayashi.
Here's Fryer with a bit of space. Ducks and weaves. Does well to fashion enough space to get across in. Can't quite pull it away from Templeman in goal.
Yeah, nice and positive from Sian Fryer there. I think if anything that we'd see with Sian Fryer, she's got the pace, she's got the ability to get past players, sometimes just that final product. Really trying to make sure there's care and quality in that final pass once she gets herself into those positions.
Nice little jink from Hayashi. It's Johnston winning the ball back for Perth, but it's quickly given back to the Roar. Varley, who's done well alongside Blissett this evening, holding down that defensive line, as well as McQueen. It's been sound at the back for the Roar.
They look pretty steady. And conversely, I don't think Perth have really tested them too much, have they? Kind of like played balls, not really into feet. Really challenged them too much. They've looked pretty comfortable all night.
It's certainly been a controlled effort from the Brisbane Roar. Alex Smith's side, the 65th minute, 3 goals to the good. Tamika Yallop opening the scoring early in the first half, followed by a wonderful strike from Tamar Levin. And the penalty into the second half from Yallop again. She's got 2 for the evening. So with 25 minutes to play, the question perhaps for Stephen Peters' side is what kind of impact they can make with maybe another change or 2 off the bench. And that's a nice little drop of the shoulder from Sarah O'Donoghue. Better here from Glory, interrupted well by Woods. Cassidy. Now Zog, Chinema. Johnston searching for O'Donoghue, but her pass is a little narrow. Here's Eka. Off the heel of the referee. But the Roar can play on. Here's Yallop. Eka. Yallop again, just switching the point of attack. McQueen. Brisbane Roar throw, Della Harp finds the feet of Woods. Varley's pass, eventually met by Sian Fryer. Eka, second time of asking, finds Yalla. Neat little ball through to Papadanova. Chinema close by. Back to Eka. Centering ball to Woods. Nice little touch around. Tish Woods gets the strike away. Asked a solid save from Templeman. Needed a solid save from Templeman. And again from another nice little spell of possession.
Well, again, love that. Build-up play was all the way from that right-hand side, came back through the middle, down this left-hand side, Papadanova back into Woods. Tish Woods ends up having a strike on goal, forcing Templeman into the save. But again, the build-up play from Brisbane Roar has been absolute quality tonight. Been really impressed with their composure, playing in tight spaces, knowing when to break through the lines.
Another corner for the Roar. A little short, a little scuffed off the boot of a Perth Glory defender. And Tamiki Allop will get another opportunity.
It'll be interesting to see whether they're targeting that near post. Near Barley, maybe. Just stepping out of this one. I mean, there's no need to take any risk for her to push forward. They're 3-0 up.
Yallop again. Deeper corner met on the volley by Delaharp. Perth Glory goal kick. They'll be happy to have the ball back in their possession, settling things back down.
I think she just shanked that one, didn't she? Meeks a little bit. Yallop off the side, sliced it a little bit. Probably not where she intended it to go.
Here's Yallop again. A little tug of the shirt there by O'Donoghue, and that one will be picked up, and she will pick up a yellow card. Speaking of cards, disregard the little red flag on top of the Perth scoreline there. There hasn't been a red for the team, but that is a yellow card for Sarah O'Donoghue.
Yeah, lovely footwork from Momo Hayashi. She's been quality tonight, hasn't she? I really love that central midfield pairing with the Roar. Tamiki Allop, Tish Woods and Momo Hayashi. They rotate, they continue moving, they're fluid, working really well together.
It certainly worked well tonight for the Brisbane Roar so far. Hayashi, neat little touch around the corner. Izzy Dalton goes to ground and collects a fair bit of Holly McQueen. She too has been excellent this evening. That rain has stopped as soon as it started. Made for some soggy conditions here in the last 20 minutes of regulation play. Of course, it's a big weekend. Next weekend, Unite round. All teams descending on New South Wales. As we turn to another substitution for the Perth Glory. You see there on the board, it's Gabby Holler. Making way in what is an A-League debut for Morgan Roberts. Well, Roberts, good attacking prospect. Great pace she's shown. Plays a club football with spirit in New South Wales NPLW at 29 years old. A really wonderful occasion. A big congratulations to Morgan Roberts on her debut. And for Stephen Peters' side, hoping she'll be able to make a bit of impact alongside Kelly Brown. Long searching ball over the top, almost finds the run of Yallop, but Chinema called into action again. She's had a busy evening, Naomi Chinema. Moving across to Perth Glory, of course, from Melbourne City, where she played last season. Woods. There's confirmation of that substitute coming through. Neat turn on the ball from McQueen. First time pass forward, and an agricultural challenge, and flaring up here. Papadanova came quickly for Naomi Chinema.
Yeah, could easily guess what the reaction of Papadanova was going to be after that challenge from Chinema. She's done a couple of those where she stretches with her furthest foot.
Well, Evie Papadanova almost had to slow herself down there. She ran towards Naomi Chinema at a rate of knots.
Well, she did it last week against Faye Bryson in Sydney FC. Similarly, didn't take too kindly to that challenge from Chinema. Strong challenge. She was lucky not to get another card, you know.
A free kick for Brisbane Roar. Tamiki Yallop again to take. Some happy Brisbane fans at Perry Park watching one of their favourites in Yallop. That ball a little narrow, but does make its way through, and awkwardly so, just into the top of the net of Miranda Templeman's goal. Perhaps not the delivery that Yallop was searching for, but made it tricky to deal with.
No, just scuffed that ball again, didn't she, Yallop? Yeah, she tried to make something of nothing there, just help it on.
So Stephen Peters still has a couple of options on the bench. Yalla Abdulmasi, who of course started last week. Composed attacking midfielder. It's a nice shift away from Tish Woods, and
that is quality.
Izzy Dalton has well and truly given herself up there. That's a yellow card. But she's picked herself up.
It's an obvious yellow card there, but it's a huge sign of respect that she's had to pull her back. Tish Woods just dancing past Izzy Dalton. She's had a great game. A quality young player that we've got in Tish Woods, really composed on the ball. Just controlling that midfield with so much composure.
Yeah, a young head, 20 years old, Tish Woods. That plays well beyond her years, as that ball looked to almost find its way over. It did indeed in the end. Ball boy disagrees. Shine Fry full of run-in. Of course, it's Sian Fry, Tamiki Yallop, two Brisbane Roar players selected in the upcoming Matildas friendlies to be played up in Brisbane and at the Gold Coast. I'm sure plenty of Brisbane fans in attendance for those ones.
Yep, I'll be up there. I'll be there, Grace. Hometown Brisbane, then on the Gold Coast. Really keen to watch the Matildas. Those 4 internationals in such close succession. And really, this is the start of the preparation, hence the 36-player squad. Started the preparation for hosting the Asian Cup in 2025.
That's a neat turn by Grace Johnston. Looks forward. Bali read the play well, but just careered into the back. Sarah O'Donoghue. Grace Johnson, she's been a bright point in amongst Perth Glory's performance tonight. Really energetic. Well, a whole host of A-League players selected in that Matilda's extended squad. Of course, we'll come back to that thought in a moment as Izzy Dalton sends in a free kick into a dangerous area. It's nodded away well by Roar's defence. Back to Dalton, but she's pressured really well by Hayashi, who's been so busy for the Roar tonight. McKenna. All right down the middle, prodded through by Chinema. And that ricocheted what looked to be off an arm. It's just become a little bit scrappy in this last minute or so.
Yeah, Kelly Brown, I think, asking for a free kick. Leah Varley rumbling through the back of her.
see another change for the evening. It's Evie Papadanova, who's making way for Grace Kualamu, who is back fit and firing following that ACL injury of last season. So wonderful to see the 17-year-old back out on the field for the Brisbane Roar. She started so brightly last year, looked full of promise and went down to that devastating knee injury.
Yeah, real shame to have that happen at such a young age. Great to see her back on the pitch. Papadanova has had a wonderful game. I think she's been really positive. Great addition, I said previously, to this Brisbane Roar team. Bit of feistiness about her as well.
Does well again. Yalla releases the run of Fryer, who can stride out into space. Has McKenna. First time ball into the box is quality. Arriving is Kualamu. She can only do so much. Let's find a Perth Glory player. That was a nice passage of play by Brisbane. Chipped over. Nodded on. Della Harp into the hands of Templeman.
Well, opportunity missed there, I think, for Kualamu. Sian Fryer to Mickey Ellop, wonderful ball just into that space. This is easy for Sian Fryer. Had a look up. That's a great ball into the box. You know, a bit of pressure from the Perth defender for Kualamu. Didn't quite get a clean connection on it. But that's the type of quality we want to see from Sian Fryer every single time. That consistency, just driving that ball along that 6-yard box.
Searching over the top is Blissett. McKenna shifts the weight. Glances up and needs a bit of support. Comes through Cassidy.
Just looking at some stats, Grace. I mean, passes in the final third for Brisbane Roar has been 88 compared to 41. I mean, Perth really haven't come up with too many solutions to the problem of not just giving the ball away and not being able to keep possession, but actually penetrating into Brisbane Roar's final third. They really haven't threatened them at all, have they?
It's really been that searching ball over the top from the Glory that's been managed quite well from what's been a very resolute Brisbane Roar defence. Here's Zog. She can stride into space. Pierces the ball through to Brown, who can't secure with the first touch. Now Fryer again. Manages to skip away from her defender, McKenna. Cassidy coming through for reinforcements. Sian Fryer puts the head down, puts the afterburners on, centres the ball. Chinema again caught into action. But that connection, you can see Sian Fryer and Grace Kualamu looks really promising.
Yeah, Sian Fryer just has this, like, she just glides, doesn't she? It's like this deceiving pace where she doesn't even look like she's trying too hard. And another fantastic positive run from her.
Well, there's the reverse of the change we saw last week. It's Ella Abdul-Marsi replacing Sarah O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue, who's worked hard in her starting debut this evening. Right about the pace of Fryer. Just puts the afterburners on, puts the head down, works hard. Has a few glances up before she delivers the ball. This is direct from Perth. Varley with a bit of work to do. Sakani does enough.
And as you said, it was good defending for Chinema. That ball in from Sian Fryer, wasn't it? Made some couple of desperation attempts, just staying close to Grace Kualamu, making it difficult for her.
It's been a busy night for the Perth Glory defence. Here they are again, being called into action. Naomi Chinema, well, she's got to be careful, nursing a yellow card, but she does time that one to perfection. Challenge coming through from Della Harp is a bit late. Another change for the Brisbane Roar is Zara Kruger, the 18-year-old who returned to Brisbane after having spent the season last year at Sydney FC. She struggled to get some minutes, and there's some good quality. You mentioned it, Ish, in the midfield of this Brisbane Roar side, and understandably the 18-year-old Kruger is having to work her way into this squad. A very good talent in the middle of the park. She replaces Momo Hayashi, who's been excellent this evening.
Yeah, she's a quality player, isn't she? Momo Hayashi did so well in the NPL. Just technically understands the game, has now gotten up to that pace of A-League football as well, really settled in. But I think just all that combination with Tamika Yallop and Tish Woods in the midfield, it's just, they just understand each other. That movement off the ball as well has been so strong for Raw tonight.
It's a hard space to break into. You can see why. For Perth now, final 10 minutes of regulation time, perhaps just to limit a bit of damage in the final minutes, as that pass just escapes the touch of Tian McKenna. Disappointed with herself. Well, night round next week, Brisbane play the Western Sydney Wanderers next Friday at Leichhardt, and Perth have Canberra next Sunday also at Leichhardt as part of the Unite Round celebrations. But for now, it's Brisbane Roar still on the attack. Sian Fry, she's looked lively. That ball is dropped well to Woods, but she can't quite get her head over the ball in what was another promising attack from this lively Raw side.
Yeah, plenty of space down this left-hand side, isn't there, with Sian Fryer, a tiring Perth Glory defence. They've had a lot of work to do tonight within the last 10 minutes of the game. Haven't created too many opportunities. Really frustrating night. All credit to Brisbane Roar, though. I think they started strongly and they've been consistent throughout this whole game. There really hasn't been a huge amount of drop-off in their intensity or ability to keep possession.
Well, should this result stand, it'll be back-to-back wins for the Brisbane Roar following their 1-0 defeat of Sydney FC last weekend. An excellent result for the club. Clean sheet last week, and what's bearing down to look like a clean sheet today for this Raw side. Chinema, she's worked tirelessly at the back of this Perth Glory defence, and she's had a lot to do as well. Here's Yallop. Finds the pass of Della Harp, and Chinema, well, she is holding that yellow card. There's been a couple of these fairly agricultural challenges, and imagine this is going to be the very last word of warning from referee Georgia Ghirardello.
Yeah, I think she's been lucky. I'm going to be honest. I think, you know, there's been a few of those challenges. She's come in strong from behind. The first one that she got a yellow card was very similar to the second one, actually, in Papagenova, when she got up and faced up to Chinema. I mean, again, sign of frustration, you know, wants to get in there, wants to start affecting the play. You see the referee just being a bit more conservative, wanting to keep all the players on the pitch.
Brisbane back in possession, searching ball in from Yallop, finds the head of Kulamu, who's looked really energetic since being subbed on. This is another look at just a little nudge through the back of Yallop, and this one here, the point in question,
I'm usually pretty, like, relaxed about that stuff as a former holding midfielder, Grace, but I mean, I think she's lucky to get away with not getting another yellow card. I don't think she got the ball there. I think she got the player. But again, game management from the referee deciding, you know, keep all 11 players on. Brisbane are 3-0 up.
Well, perhaps Naomi Chinema treading a fine line.
I think it's just also there's been a couple of other challenges. You know, if there was one of those, but there's been a couple of others she's been pulled up on as well. So being on a yellow card and then being able to get away with 2 or 3 more similar challenges coming in behind quite strongly, I find interesting.
It has been a fairly physical encounter. 7 fouls committed by Brisbane, 16 committed by Perth Glory. The yellow card, certainly Perth Glory leading the charge with those as well.
I mean, she's definitely a player that you want to keep on the pitch, don't you? For Stephen Peters, I know they've conceded 3 goals today. And Naomi Chinmar, with all those other injury losses and trying to build some depth in the squad and build to a style of play for Stephen Peters in his first season with Glory. Definitely not a player that you want to have missing games through suspension.
3 goals, a valuable 3 goals for this Brisbane Roar side. And while at the start of round 3, this does propel them right to the top of the Ninja A-League ladder, sitting just behind Melbourne City, should this result stay as is. Johnston just putting on the afterburners. Tamiki Allop not too pleased about the challenge.
She's really covered a fair bit of ground as well, hasn't she, Allop? I mean, Tamiki Allop always covers a lot of ground, but I think just in this, she's really got the freedom just to have that movement wherever she wants, and I think it's working so well. She looks confident. Frustration boiling over again. Kelly Brown and Holly McQueen. There's been a few little push and shoves, hasn't there, Grace?
That's putting it lightly. There certainly has. No love lost between the two, but tensions just boiling over late in this game. Just the shoulder from Brown and the grab around the waist, and McQueen, bit of retaliation.
Well, you love to see the passion and frustration from Kelly Brown there. You know, not taking a backward step from the Roars. Been a few of those players. Pompano, we've seen a couple of times.
Not at all. And Kelly Brown, who has had the lively start to the season that she has had for the Perth Glory. No doubt desperate to impact the game, but really hasn't been able to tonight. It's not been a game for the Glory that's existed in their attacking third very much at all.
Yep, you'd really have to say that first half. Such a strong start from the Brisbane Roar, 2 early goals, plenty of possession from them, and just Perth Glory haven't had any answers, haven't been able to recover from conceding those 2 goals in the first half.
And that pass goes begging, and Deborah Ann Delahart will be comfortable just to take her time on this throw-in rather, as they tick closer and closer to the 90-minute mark. Here's Woods. Finds Fryer. Brisbane Roar just super comfortable to keep possession. That pass a little short, but still the clearing ball lands at the feet of Sian Fryer. Now Marielle Ecker drives into space, gives the decision to McKenna. Nice little touch around the corner for Fryer. Looks up, cuts back. Lovely ball into the box once more by Fryer. She's looked incredibly dangerous. With a bit of defending to do. McQueen, excellent again.
She's had a good game, hasn't she, Holly McQueen? Well, I think the whole back three, Chelsea Blissett, there hasn't been too much work for them to do. I think Leah Varley's been excellent as well at the centre of that back three. Just a really commanding presence.
Fourth official, Joey Lee, has indicated there'll be 4 minutes of additional time added as we tick over past the regulation 90. But it has been a sound effort at the back for this Raw defence. And tension still just bubbling between Kelly Brown and Holly McQueen. There's Kruger. Super balanced in the middle of the park, Tish Woods.
Yeah, Leah Varley always looking for those nice little balls into midfield, isn't she? Always making sure there's 1 or 2 options. I mean, Tish Wood in there, Momo Hayashi previously.
need to be pressuring Brisbane should they want to try and pinch anything back in these last couple of minutes of stoppage time. But really, it's great game management for the time being. Brisbane Roar just seeing these minutes out and doing so coolly as well. Here's Varley. Steps on the ball, props well. Really comfortable at the back, Leah Varley.
Yeah, the game's really stretched out now. Plenty of space there. Perth have done a lot of defending, covered a lot of ground. This is a very big pitch at Perry Park. We've played it many times. Wide, it's long. When you've had to defend for so long that you've been running around without the ball, you know, fatigue starts to set in.
Well, halfway through the stoppage time, the allotted 4 minutes. Still hear the fans at Perry Park, happy with what they've seen tonight. Back-to-back wins at home. Always wonderful for the fans that have come out to support their team on a Friday night. Friday night football under lights, what's not to love?
Love it, Grace. Absolutely love it. Hometown of Brisbane, Raw core there. We'll see who the player of the match is. They usually give out an orange to the Brisbane Raw player of the match. They're the ones with the drums, keeping the good vibes going, singing.
Active support. Really wonderful part of our game. Always there in good voice. And here's a nice run from Grace Kualamu. Really good bodies shown on the ball. Great strength, great cutback. Marioleka interrupted by Georgia Cassidy, who's worked hard in the middle of the park for Perth Glory tonight. Hasn't quite gotten on the ball in the way that she would have liked, but defensively, she had to be alert to the danger.
Yeah, she did well there. Grace Kualamu is kind of teeing up. It's a good ball back in to Eka. But yeah, as you say, Georgia Cassidy, you know, you'd think 3-0 down, what's the point in defending? But did well to get goal side there. Stop that fourth goal going in.
Really tidy play again, once more here from Brisbane Roar. Just neat triangles, passing around easily. 30 seconds of this stoppage time remain. Perth Glory, Grace Johnston looking to stream forward, perhaps a one last foray. Abdulmasi into the feet of the aforementioned Cassidy. Long driving ball forward. It's not a Perth shirt to find it on the other end, and this time is well and truly in the hands of the centre referee. And there is the whistle from our referee here at Perry Park. Well, all is said and done. It's been a dominant performance from the Brisbane Roar, and it's the home side that are ultimately too good today, as the Roar tip the head-to-head ledger back in their favour with back-to-back wins at home. And for Alex Smith's side, as they turn their attention to Unite Round next weekend, but can be very pleased, very proud of what's been another dominant home performance here for the Brisbane Roar. As Tamika Yallop, who got scoring underway for the Roar, followed by a brilliant bit of skill from a long-range effort into Mar 11. And a second-half penalty, the only goal we saw that was dispatched coolly by captain Tamika Yallop. Well, handshakes and hugs all round. But it wraps up here at Perry Park. Brisbane Roar 3, Perth Glory 0. Well, plenty of highlights to talk about across the course of this 90-ish. And it was the first half that started in quite a flurry.
Yeah, Brisbane Roar came out of the blocks. Real intensity. Tamar Levin there, I think she should have done better than that. Probably disappointed in herself that she didn't score. But this ball from Momo Hayashi down into the corner from Tamika Yallop. See Tamika Yallop with her head up. Little jink, little step over there. Just tucks that into the top corner. Doesn't try and hit the leather off it. Just bends that up and over the keeper. Miranda Templeton not having any chance of stopping that whatsoever. But I just love this. Look at Yallop's head up, head up, head up. Where am I going? Little step over, jinks in, gets a ball out of her feet. Wonderful technique. Chip that into the far post.
Oh, was that vision, the long-range passing from Hayashi, who found the run of Tamika Yallop and just the vision, the ability to drop the shoulder, to shift the weight and to find the top corner. Oh, it's a wonderful strike from the captain. And they were the 2 goals, or this was the second of the 2. I love this from Tamar Levin. The turn on the dime, but watch the little glance as she receives the ball. Little eyes up, sees the keeper, Miranda Templeman, off her line, and what a strike that was.
Yeah, loved it. And there was some nice build-up play to get to that point. But as you said, Grace, the fact that she turned on a dime to face forward, and I think